The bottom line is there's 700,000 financial advisors in America, and all you have to do is be 18 and pass a 3-hour test. That is scary. That is absolutely scary.
Retirement for life. Your passport to a comfortable and confident retirement. The podcast that's equal parts education and entertainment, where we break down the retirement maze with a dash of fun and a heap of wisdom from your host, Christian Sear CPA, the passionate retirement specialist and president of Sear Financial Wealth Advisors, the independent registered investment advisor specializing in the AIM retirement system.
Okay, today on episode 13, Retirement for Life, we're talking about a topic near and dear to my heart. I found a research piece that fits my narrative, that fits my agenda, and we're going to talk about it. It is going to be a great episode, and I'll tell you why. The title of this research piece by Pew Research and Affiliates, Choice of Financial Advisor Can Dramatically Affect Retirement Savings. Today, we're going to talk about the top 5 things that you need to look for in a retirement advisor. The top 5 things, okay? Let's get started and get right into it. Austin, tell me, well, first of all, before we do, welcome A-Team. Andrea and Austin, good to have you guys.
Hello.
Hi. What are we doing today? Just tell everyone what we're doing today after we record
Quarterly
this.
bonding with the team.
Quarterly team bonding is going to be fun. So we're in a rush today, so hopefully this will be a quick episode.
Yep.
But Andrea, give me an idea for people just wanting to know what we're going to be talking about today. What are some of the topics we're going to be talking
We're
about?
going to talk about looking at your fees and how transparent an advisor is about them, which has always been a big thing for us. What their qualifications are and their expertise or experience in the field.
Important.
Their communication. How often do you hear from them?
And we're also going to be talking about a financial advisor that's not a generalist, that has an actual retirement planning system. We're going to go through these 5 topics quickly. Austin, what is red flag or attribute number 1 that everyone should look for in their retirement advisor?
Starting with their credentials, are they a CPA or a CFP?
Right. And I know this is a touchy topic, okay? We were just talking about a young lady who used to work for us, with us, and she was an awesome financial advisor. Or she wasn't an advisor. She was, what was her?
Planner, financial planner.
She was so good.
Mm-hmm.
She was smart. She was sharp. She had all of her facts, details, and everything. And what was her background?
Music.
She loved to sing,
Yep.
right? She was a singer, and she is a singer, and she's a great amazing singer, and her husband is too. Their background was in music. So you do not have to have a CPA or a CFP to be a good retirement advisor. So why did we put this up here today?
Because it's a good place to start.
It's a great place to start, right? So a CPA and a CFP, they have to go through a lot of different things, okay? And we'll get into that. Mm-hmm. So let's start with a story. This is a story. We're going to call him Jim. Can we call him Jim?
Yep, that works.
This is a person that Andrea and I both know. And before we talk bad about this person, I want to say that he is an awesome father and a nice man. Okay. Yep. So we're not talking about his character, but you don't care about character when you've got $1 million in your retirement or $5 million in your retirement. You care about, is this person that I'm aligning myself with, that I'm entrusting to all this money, is he or she qualified? So this person I met approximately 10 years ago. And Andrea, what did this person do most of his career?
He was a salesman.
What did he sell?
I've known him forever. It started out with timeshares, and then it went to selling motorhomes.
Right. And he was very good at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was awesome at selling timeshares and motorhomes.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
And he was making good money until he got pissed one day. He got upset because his brother in Texas was making more money than he was.
Mm-hmm.
So what did he do? He took a 3-hour test, became a financial advisor, and now he's still making commissions, still selling stuff. Mm-hmm. He's selling commission-based mutual funds. Mm-hmm. And now he and his brother are fighting for who makes more money.
Right.
Austin, to be a financial advisor in the United States of America, do you have to have any degree whatsoever?
No, you do not have to have a degree.
Do you have to have any experience?
No.
Andrea, if you have a criminal record, can you be a financial advisor?
Depends on what it is. If you have a criminal record, it depends on what you have.
It depends, right? If you killed somebody, you can't be a financial advisor. But you can have a criminal record and be a financial advisor in the United States. The bottom line is there's 700,000 financial advisors in America, And all you have to do is be 18 and pass a 3-hour test. That is scary. That is absolutely scary. So when you look at Investopedia, right, you're trying to find a retirement advisor. If you look at and you can look this up yourself, it's a guide to financial designations.
Mm-hmm.
Brooke, you can throw that on the screen for us. The number 1 and number 2 designations that are listed there are CFP and CPA. Okay,
Yep.
There's a reason for that. Okay, number 1, you have to pass a test. It's a rigorous test. I sat for the CPA exam. It took me a year to study, and it took 2 whole days to take the damn test.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a CFP, you have to go through a full year of education. Then you have to pass a capstone financial planning process.
Mm-hmm.
Then you sit for a rigorous test. Okay.
Yeah.
So number 1, this person that you are thinking about aligning yourself with, they have the credentials. Okay. They weren't selling motorhomes last year. Okay. That's number 1. Number 2, unlike most designations. Now, throwing you for a curveball here.
Yeah.
If you had to guess, and then I don't know the answer to this. How many financial designations do you think there are in the financial industry?
I'm sure there's hundreds of them.
There's a ton of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it's like pay for a designation.
Yeah.
I don't like my name, so I want some initials after it.
Mm-hmm.
I can pay $150 and get some sort of designation.
Yeah.
These are the 2 top dogs. Okay. One of the reasons they're the top dogs is because they also, unlike most of these designations, they require continuing education, right?
Yeah.
Staying on top of the topics of the day, making sure you're current with the new laws, the new techniques. This is one of the key attributes of these 2 designations. Now,
Right.
the final thing I'll say is that these 2 designations have professional ethical standards above and beyond the average financial advisor. Okay. We're talking about they are bound to do what's best for their clients, like a fiduciary, but they also have to have integrity, due care, avoiding conflicts of interest. And that is the critical parts of this. So Here's what I want to say about attribute number 1. You don't have to find a retirement advisor that has a CPA or CFP. As we said, you can have a great financial planner who's awesome at retirement planning, who doesn't have one of these designations. But if you're swimming in an ocean full of 700,000 advisors, why not eliminate 650,000 of them right away?
Right.
Mm-hmm. It just makes sense. And so for me, that's why I put it as number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go on to topic number 2. Austin, wait a second. I had a little bonus tip. Okay. The CPA leans towards what? The tax side of things.
Right.
And the CFP kind of leans more towards the financial planning side.
Yeah.
I think if I was an American who was going to retire, I would pick an advisor or a firm that had both.
Agree.
Mm-hmm. Wink. All right, Austin, what's attribute number 2 for a good retirement advisor?
Knowing about their fees, transparency of fees.
And are they a fiduciary?
So I always said that your fees will be clearly stated.
Mm-hmm.
I have some examples here of people walk in and I ask them, how much are you paying your financial advisor?
Yeah.
They don't have a clue.
No.
If you're a retiree and you've saved up $1 million or $2 million and $3 million and you don't know exactly how much you're paying your advisor, then shame on you.
Right.
Okay? Shame on you. So fiduciary, what do we say about fiduciaries? What's a fiduciary?
They have to do what's in your best interest legally.
Have to do what's in your best interest. So Austin, does that mean that I can sell you a bunch of commission-based mutual funds if I'm a fiduciary?
You cannot.
No. So there's 2 ways to look at this. There's fee only and fee based. Okay. In both models, a fiduciary, it's like that commercial everyone sees because they spend $2 million a year or more on advertising. We only do better if our clients do better. Okay.
Right, exactly.
They pretend like that company that makes that commercial, they pretend like they're the only one in the world that thinks that way, right? That's the definition of a fiduciary.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have a fiduciary because they are not going to be putting you into commission-based products, but it goes further. Even if you are a fiduciary, does every fiduciary actually have transparency in their fees?
No.
I've got a great example. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, this is an actual customer who came to us, I think, just 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this customer already was with a fiduciary. But when I asked him, what's your fees, he had no clue.
Yeah.
And when you start looking, this is his statement right here. Now, Austin, can you see what page of this statement is this?
Last item on the bottom of page 7.
It's like in the bottom left-hand corner, and there's the guy's fees buried on the left-hand corner of page 7.
Yeah.
Now, from that, can you tell which accounts were charged?
Not at all.
Can you tell how the fee was calculated?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So working with the fiduciary advisor has no idea how the fee was calculated, has no idea which accounts did this apply to or anything like that. And he's going to page 7. How many people look at page 7 of their financial report?
Everyone looks at page 1.
Especially if you're just flying through it. Yeah, you would miss that easily.
So this is our statement. This is a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that every client gets every quarter. And what I like about this, number one, it's a whole entire page dedicated to fees. This is a fiduciary, which is what we are, but it's also transparency.
Exactly.
Can you see what the fee was for every single account?
Yeah, it's separated out by account and percentage.
And does it show how the fee was calculated? Look at the top of that. I mean, look at all those numbers. You can dig into that as much as you want to. That is transparency. That is fees.
Yep.
Point number 2, look for fees. Now, shameless plug here. Brooke, do you have any clue how many times the 5 topics to ask your financial advisor has been downloaded?
Thousands.
So I've worked on this document for 10 years and it's been revised and revised and revised. But if you go to 5toask.com, you can get this. It's now it's 20 pages now.
Yeah, yep.
We just had it revised again. It's now 20 pages. It is 20 pages of the questions to ask your financial advisor. You're researching a financial advisor. What questions should I ask? It's right here.
Yep.
How can I check and see if my financial advisor has any criminal activity? It's all right here. How can I see if he's had any complaints against him? It's all right here. How do I know what questions to ask regarding his designations, how his financial planning process works? It's all right here. 5toask.com, free. Anyone who doesn't download this, in my opinion, is just making a mistake. But let's get to point number 3. Austin, what is point number 3 that we're talking about today?
Yeah, finding an advisor that's focusing on your income.
All right, so this is an awesome topic. There are so many generalist financial planners out there. And what I mean by financial planners that are generalists, I mean they take your money and they invest it, and then they kind of like, I'm doing my job. No, you're not doing your job. I've always said that the number one goal of the AIM retirement system, the number one goal, if you are 65 years old, and I've talked to thousands of retirees. I was just on a golf course the other day with Ed, real Ed, and not like fake guy, real Ed. And he's asking me, he goes, how do you give me how do you give your clients I said, it's all about income. Okay, so what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think retirement is about maximizing chances of retirement success. And what that ultimately comes down to, what does that mean? Chance of retirement success.
Not running out of money.
Not dying with $0 in your bank account. Okay, so how do you do that? What it ultimately comes down to is focusing on income. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So, Austin, look at these 2 plans. Okay, I've got plan 1 and I've got plan 2. And right now, all you can see is the most likely outcome. Okay, so plan 1 is clearly better, right?
Yeah.
You die with $500,000 in plan 1. In plan 2, you die with $400,000. Okay. Now at the top, of course, best possible outcome. Yeah. If the stock market is great for your 30 years of retirement, you could have a lot more money. Right? But if you're just looking at those 2 lines, and by the way, if you're not watching, you're only listening, you should go to rflshow.com right now, because you can see what we're talking about and you can see our beautiful faces smiling. But here's the point about income focus, okay? If you're looking at just these 2 lines, you're definitely going with plan number 1.
Right.
No doubt, right? I can have $500,000 when I die, maybe $1 million. That's the plan I'm going with. But then, Brooke, if you reveal the next 2 lines here, now we see the downside of these two plans. Plan number one, if the stock market goes sour or south for the next 30 years or doesn't have a great run, you could actually run out of money, which by definition is failure.
Yep.
Right? So plan two is what we usually lean towards. You're not going to make as much money, but you're also not going to run out of money. And back to Ed on the golf course. He doesn't care how much money he leaves to his kids. He's not interested in making a lot of money. He wants financial security.
Right.
I myself am getting older every day, like we all are. And I'm starting to think about the same thing. It's like, okay, what am I going to do when I retire? Like, how can I secure an income that I don't have to worry about the stock market? So if you look at plan two, now you want plan two because there's virtually 0% chance that you're going to run out of money. And if now, Brooke, you dropped the last line there. And this is what I'm talking about. What is the basic difference between plan one and plan two, Miss Brandon?
Income stability.
Income stability.
How much are they relying on the stock market?
Right. So Austin, in plan one, do they have any income focus?
No. Just Social Security.
The only thing they got is Social Security, right? And so what have we added to plan two?
Mailbox money.
Mailbox money, which we've talked about. So I think it's critical that when you're talking to a financial advisor, are they focused on income? Because that is the true main catalyst for a successful financial plan. It's not about investing your money in the stock market and making a ton of money. It's about protecting your income.
Yeah.
And unfortunately in our industry,
that's the focus. How much money are people making?
Everyone wants, all these advisors are talking about, I can make you more money. No, they can't. Why do they talk about that? Because that's what people want to hear.
Right.
Right. I sat down in a room full of gentlemen in Florida last week. They're all well-to-do. They're all successful. They're all retired. And the amount of conversation about, oh, I got this stock and oh, I made a lot of money on that stock. I just wanted to say, guys, that's not what matters.
Right.
What matters is, do you have guaranteed income coming into your mailbox every day so that you can spend your money wisely?
Yep.
We've done a lot of topics on this. Brooke, show those beautiful thumbnails. You look at those thumbnails. There's all the different videos you can get on income on YouTube, and those are just 4 of them. Handsome guy right there. Brooke, you can cut that off if you want to.
No. Keep it.
Austin, what's attribute number 4 when we're looking for a financial advisor?
Communication from your advisor.
According to a recent study, the average American feels like they need nearly $1.5 million to retire comfortably. That's a 53% increase compared to the same study just 4 years ago. But is that the right number for you? And are you doing everything you can to maximize your financial situation? The AIM Retirement Assessment can help you figure that out. This free assessment is a simple 3-step process. Answer a few questions about yourself. Spend 15 minutes discussing your situation with one of our retirement specialists, and then we get to work. You'll receive a customized report detailing your exposure to the 7 biggest risks in retirement and the 3 most impactful action items you can take to supercharge your retirement. And if you already have a financial plan, this assessment will help you see what real retirement planning looks like. Get your AIM assessment today and see the difference between a financial generalist and a retirement specialist. Go to aimassessment.com today to get started. That's aimassessment.com.
Yeah, that's a big one for me. I want to have conversations with our clients. I want them to know what's going on, what we're thinking. You make videos all the time about it.
I've been making videos for 10 years and sending it to my clients. And a lot of clients don't pay attention to them, and that's okay.
Right, but they know they're there. And like one of the number one things when people come in, they complain about, I don't hear from the guy. They don't know about me at all. They don't know me or my family. So
it's ironic. So I looked up a study and I sent it to you yesterday. I didn't send it to you, Austin, but it lists the number one reason why millionaire investors leave their financial advisor. Number one reason they leave their financial advisor is because they don't proactively communicate, which is ironic because that means that most financial advisors are not communicating, and especially in critical times.
Right.
You know, like today, it just so happens that the stock market's up like
It was up over 1% right now when we came
it's
in.
like 300 or 400 points a thousand, right? Today is not the day to call a client.
No.
Right? When do you call a client?
Well, I mean, from experience, 2022, market's down. People are freaking out. You know, their stuff's going down. That's when we had to call people, and they really appreciated it then.
Yeah, or like Russia invades Ukraine.
Right.
Or something like that.
It's not necessarily the most comfortable time to call someone, right?
No, but that's when you need to call them.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing any financial advisor in the world can do about these types of things.
But they need to know you're paying attention.
Hey, here's what's going on. We're aware. And I just think it's interesting that most advisors actually, when the proverbial shit hits the fan, that's when most advisors don't answer the phone.
Right.
Some of them even lock their doors.
Right.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Communication, it's the number one thing. I think, how often do we try and meet with for a review with our clients? A couple times a year?
It depends on their preference. We at least reach out once a year.
Yeah.
But some people want a quarterly call. Some people want it twice a year. And it kind of depends on the situation. Are they nearing retirement? Are they already retired? I mean, it does depend, but at least once a year, we are reaching out to everyone to see if they want to come in.
I mean, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And I looked back last month. Our clients received 2 videos, hundreds of phone calls. We had, I think, 22 client meetings. It's just about meeting with your advisor and communicating with them. And here's the thing. I have been to a ton of financial advisor conferences. And I don't go to them anymore because I just can't stand hanging with financial advisors. Half of them are jerks. I'm just saying, okay? And you can tell the guys who are not really retirement planners, who are not really doing in-depth engagement with their clients, who are not doing the heavy lifting, which we'll talk about in a second. They're basically asset gatherers, and all they're doing is taking the client's money and investing it. So you know what they do to engage their clients? They take them to baseball games. They do a whiskey tasting. They'll do, what's an example, Brooke, of a typical advisor event? I don't know. Comedy night, whatever.
Yeah, steak night.
That is not, it's okay to be a friend with your advisor. I think you should have a friendly relationship and like your advisor, but you don't need to be best friends with them. I think that advisors, like the ones I've seen over the years, I asked them, how do you engage with your clients? They're like, oh, we go to a bowling event. I'm like, that's not communication.
Yeah.
That is like these famous Hollywood actors and actresses that wear sunglasses because they're hungover. They're hiding something, okay? True communication, that's what you need from an advisor.
Yeah.
All right, Austin, let's go now to number 5.
You need to find an advisor that has a proven retirement system.
Amen.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm 35 years old and I just want a little help with some financial advice, there's 700,000 of these advisors out there.
Yeah.
Chances are the majority of them are going to help you. You know, you don't need a lot when you're 35, right? When you're 65 years old, you're about to enter the most dangerous point of your financial life.
Yep.
And chances are, if you're not reading the 5 topics to ask your advisor, you're not watching this podcast, you're not aware of what you should be looking for. Most people are just going in blindly. And I think a lot of times what frustrates me, I don't know why it frustrates me, but it does. It's like, why can't you people think for yourselves? A lot of people will pick a financial advisor based on their neighbor or their friend. We've talked about it. Just like
At the coffee shop, who they're talking to.
Your friend doesn't know any better than you do about retirement advisors. It's not a popularity contest. There's a lot of generalists out there. So what you're looking for is a proven system. So we've talked about having a CPA or CFP designation. But what you don't want is to be in a meeting with your financial advisor. And what's a typical meeting in America? What the financial advisor look like, would you say?
Typical? I mean, it's more like, here's how much you made this year.
Here's your statement.
Here's your statement.
Go over it.
And then usually you get 5 or 6 generic bullet points about the economy or the market. Here's what small caps did in the last year. Nobody cares about that.
No.
How about real information, right? You shouldn't be sitting at your financial advisor and say, well, that was boring. You just showed me my statement, which, by the way, I got in the mail 10 days ago. You didn't tell me anything I already knew. And I know that the stock market went up 10% last year.
Yeah.
Or I don't care about what small caps did.
Right. But what does it mean for them in their financial lives.
Did we talk about my current situation? Did we talk about my health? Did we talk about my income plan? Did we talk about my Roth? Can you show me my tax return? Can you show me about this Social Security system? When you go to a financial advisor, you need to have, now some people will call it a request for a quote or a request for proposal, which I think is going too far. That's like a formal document that says, these are the things we're going to do. You should have at least, Brooke, can you throw up the aim value diagram? Now that's a retirement system. Okay, there are 18 complex things that we are tackling. Mm-hmm. That's a retirement system. And you shouldn't be sitting there saying, have we talked about Social Security? Do we know what we're doing for Social Security? It should be sitting there. It should be a proven retirement system. And that is the most important thing. I think you should, before you engage with an advisor, you should ask them, I'm retired. I know that investments are going to go up and down, but what are we doing? What are we tackling around that? What are the 18 things around that? So, fun episode. I read that research piece from start to finish, and it said all the things we know. So this podcast is about helping people pick the right retirement advisor, okay? The 5 things we said were what, Austin?
Number 1, having that designation, either CPA or CFP.
Not that you can't be a good advisor without that designation, but it sure helps you as a retiree know what the heck you're getting. What's number 2?
Are they a fiduciary? And then their transparency of fees.
Don't bury your fees. Don't go to an advisor who buries their fees on page 7 in the bottom left-hand corner, right? And make sure it's a fiduciary, right?
Right.
What's number 3?
Making sure they're incorporating some type of income plan.
The most important thing in your retirement for success is that your income is guaranteed. Ask the advisor, what are we doing about income here? What's your focus on income? Because I understand, because I listened to the Retirement for Life podcast, that if I want a nice, secure retirement, I don't want to worry about the stock market.
Right.
Are you focusing on income? How are you doing it? What's number 4?
Making sure your advisor is not only communicating well, but often.
That's Andrea's favorite.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
She loves to communicate with clients. And number 5 was having a proven retirement system, like the AIM retirement system, or something that is a list. You should have a list of everything that's going to be covered in your visit, in your contract with your advisor. It should not just be investing. That's not real retirement.
Nope.
So with that, I think it's time for our quarterly bonding. And it is, we made it in time. Brooke, how long do you think this podcast was today?
25 minutes.
Okay. So we kept it under 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we'll be back. I'm not going to tell you what episode 14 is about, but it's a real barn burner. It's going to be great. Thank you for listening to the show today, and we look forward to making another great podcast in 2 weeks. Take care. See you soon.
Investment advisory services provided by Sear Financial, Inc., SEC registered investment advisor. All content on this podcast is for information purposes only and should not be considered investment, legal, or tax advice. Material presented is believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations are made by our firm as to another party's informational accuracy or completeness.